Today we're going to look at knee shield, or like basic knee shield, and a few basic sweeps from this position. So the basic knee shield itself, let's just show you what it is. So last week we worked on deep half guard, and we actually did the entry from the knee shield position. So for the knee shield itself, it's a type of half guard position. So the half guard that he wants to get, he wants to get in here, he wants to get the underhook and the cross face and get me squished in nice and tight. The type of half guard that I want is I want some space to work with here. So one of the ways I'm going to keep the space is by bringing my shin in front of my partner. So I bring the shin in. I need to make sure that he's not able to break this leg down and push it together. So if he's able to bring my knees together here, he's able to create pressure with his body, and then he's able to make his passes work. So I'm going to keep this knee nice and flared. Foot's just going to place down here on the hip. It's absolutely fine. Hand is going to place onto the shoulder, and we're going to bring our elbow in underneath the knee just as extra support. So if he tries to use his shoulder now and tries to just drive my knee down, it's reasonably easy for him. But if I place and put the elbow in as a frame, now when he tries to push that down, like not impossible, especially if he's like mega strong or like 95 kilograms, but it makes it a little bit better, a little easier for me to hold the position. This hand here is going to be a manager. We're going to manage this hand to make sure that he's not able to get any collar grip or reach forward and get any type of cross face. So this is the position that I want you to find. This bottom leg, incidentally, can you come around this way for me, Matt? We want to be like super active with this hook on the leg. So not just kind of leaving it so he's able to window wipe his leg. So if I leave this kind of loose and he's able to window wipe and bring his foot back over the top, this is not what I want. So to control this position, I want to make sure that I flare and even just kind of like look to put the ball of the foot on the floor. So now when he tries to window wipe his leg is like stuck in that position. At the same time, we're going to bring the shin across, hand onto the shoulder, elbow underneath, and then this hand's just going to manage the wrist and make sure he's not able to get any grips or cross face. All right, so let's start with that. All right, so we found our knee shield position. So we're going to look at our first sweep. The first sweep that we're going to try to hit from here is a sweep called old school, okay? So one of the good things about this is not only have we got like this frame to stop our partner from coming in and the space created, but I've also got my knee in this space underneath my partner's arm. So if I kick this leg through, suddenly there's a little bit of space underneath my partner's armpit. So I'm going to use that. When I feel ready, I'm going to just lift my leg slightly and then kick my leg through and use the dropping of the leg to create momentum to come up to this elbow. And what I'm looking for is the arm that was on the shoulder to circle through and come up through to the back for the underhook. Okay, so initially we're just going to go nice and deep on this. My aim now is to try and get my forehead to the inside of my partner's knee. So I'm going to dive underneath. So as I dive underneath here, my forehead's going to go in nice and tight. I'm looking to try to cup his far side leg and try to lift his foot up off the floor. You see my underhook here has gone from his hip and dropped down towards his butt. So I've stayed on the underhook, it's just dropped a little bit lower, and I'm going to lift this foot up and pass the toes to my hand. This hand now, the one that initially went underneath, is going to come through and block his knee. So he's not able to make his base wider or move his leg wider. So hand's going to come in. Now to help me make this sweep work, I'm going to bring this outside leg over the top, switch my legs out, and I'm going to start to just torque this knee. Now, I don't know if you can see, put that leg back there for me, Matt. As I bring that leg, watch his hips sort of drop. So I pull and his hips start to drop. This is my cue to pull in with my arms, drive with my shoulder, and take my partner to the top. So stay nice and tight on this. We're going to drop in our chin to our far side hip, back step off. I like to just bring this leg in, drive his hips off to the side, and then make my way up for the pass. So from here, going to lift the leg, kick it through, but then use the momentum of that leg dropping to come up to my elbow. So I kick, drive in for the underhook. Now I've got this nice deep underhook, drive my head in, and I'm going to look for picking up the foot on the far side. Really important that my head is nice and deep on this. That hand, if he's able to get any sort of cross face on my head here, he can start, go ahead, you can start like driving me back flat again. So I need to make sure that my head is in super deep. Lift the toes up, pass them off. Block the knee, switch the legs, start to talk, and as soon as I feel his hips start to move, drive up to the top, keeping everything nice and tight, a little bit like an over-under type pass. Chin back or head back towards his hips, back step off, come in underneath the knee, drive, and make my pass to the top. Here, kick through, underhook. Dive in nice and deep, drop down to the toes, block the knee, up to the top, kill the hips, move myself in for the pass. Okay, so from knee shield, let's shoot for the underhook, hit the old school sweep. 1, 2, 3, let's do it. Right, so from the knee shield, we're gonna lift, kick up, come into this underhook position. So we are gonna go for the same thing. We're gonna dive under, we're gonna lift up the leg, we're gonna trap, and we're gonna try to roll my partner over. So what often happens is as I start to try to drive forwards, he'll either base on the far side and start to push himself back, or he'll just be like a little bit too heavy for me to work in that direction. So one option for us is as he starts to push back in towards us, we take our hips underneath our partner. Make his hips nice and light. We keep moving underneath until we drop our partner down. Once we've dropped our partner down, again, we're going to bring our knee in underneath, pull ourselves to the top, and we pretty much end up in the same position. So kill the hips, drop in behind, and walk up through in for the pass. Okay, so here, we kick through, dive under, pick up the foot, trap the knee. I start to drive. He overbases and pushes back, so I cut my hips underneath my partner's hips. As he becomes light, I keep moving, drop my partner down, leg comes in underneath, kill the hips, make my way up for the pass. So, also, what I want to look at is getting into the dogfight position. So as I kick, as I go up in for the underhook here, instead of diving for that far leg, I'm going to start to drive into my partner and I'm looking to take this foot out. One way that I can try to make that happen is taking my leg again, hooking the ankle, starting to torque the knee, driving myself up here. Then I'm going to tap this far knee, I'm going to drive forwards. So we kick through, up, torque the foot out, come up to our knee. Tap the knee, drive. Now one more position. As I take that leg out, if his knee stays on the floor here, and I drive, and again, I still can't get this person over, but his weight is coming back towards me. Another option is to drive underneath this leg, drop my hips, roll my partner over the top. Up in, drag, up. My partner stays on his knee. I still might be able to tap and drive through. If he drives back in towards me, especially if he whizzes this arm, go ahead, put it back on my back. So if he doesn't whizzer the arm, I have the option for coming out the back. Most decent jiu-jitsu players are going to whizzer the arm so that one, I can't get my back taken, but two, so he might be able to drive me back flat to the floor with that whizzer. But as he whizzes the arm and as he starts to drive back, I'm going to drive underneath his far leg, bring his hips over the top, and we finish with the sweep.